Derek and
Holly here.
From a guy, a girl, and a camper van. So a few weeks ago, we showed you a big list of all of the different places that we like to go and have a shower when we're on the road. But we also mentioned that we have a portable shower that we like to use whenever we are boondocking somewhere in the wild, in nature. And so today, we're doing just that, and so we're going to show you all about that shower.
So while you do that, I'm going to make dinner.
Sounds good, because I'm hungry. So this is the instant hot shower made by a company called Zodi Outdoor Gear. We've had this for a couple of years now and have gotten quite a bit of use out of it. We paid, I think, about 200 bucks for it at the time. I'm not sure what they're worth now. It comes in this really durable plastic case that also doubles as a 15-liter water reservoir. So you open it up, and inside are all of the parts. First of all, we've got the actual propane burner that heats up the water. Next, we have the submersible pump that actually pumps the water. It's a 6-volt pump and it uses D-cell batteries. Because it's submersible, you can actually insert this directly into the water reservoir and it pumps water into this hose. Third, we have an 8-foot shower hose complete with a tiny little shower head. And finally, we have a propane cylinder. This is just a standard propane cylinder that you would use for a lantern or a small cook stove. This didn't actually come with it, but there is enough room in the case to store this as well. This unit only requires one cylinder, but they do have another larger unit that's meant for use by a lot more people, and it actually takes 2 cylinders. So to set this up, we start off with our little pump. We hook this end onto the inlet of the propane heater, and then the shower onto the outlet. Next, we take the cap off of our propane cylinder and we simply screw it onto the bottom of the heater. Like so. And this is the entire setup. So now we can use this as a reservoir for our water, and you'll notice that on the lid they've actually got these little cutouts where we can actually insert the bottom of the cylinder to give it a more sturdy base. So this actually just pops right off the hinge, and then the propane cylinder sits right inside it, nice and snug. And then it's just a little bit more secure, it won't wobble as much. So if we set that right there, and then we take this guy, we put in our submersible pump, and we'll fill it up. This will take about 15 liters of water, which is enough for this pump to pump for about 10 minutes. So that's a 10-minute shower. In our case, we typically, if we fill this up with water, we'll each be able to take a shower with that amount of water, because we only take about 5 minutes whenever we're out in the wild like this. So this is just 4 liters. I'm just going to put it in for demonstration purposes. Now we happened to cart this water in with us because we knew we were going to be out here today. But if we ran out of water and we were in too remote of a location to be able to find more fresh water, we've actually used clean river water or lake water as well. There's actually a small filter built into the pump, and so any sediment that happens to be in there will get filtered out before running through the pump, which will protect the pump. Obviously that filter isn't powerful enough to actually remove any bacteria or viruses that might be living in the water, so it's still really important to make sure that you don't actually let any of the water into your mouth or anything like that, unless you know that the water source you're using is completely safe and clean. So just to demonstrate how the actual shower portion works, before I even turn on the heating element, if I press this red button, you'll see that the pump will immediately start pumping water out of the reservoir and through into the shower head. So if the water you were using happened to already be warm, or you were just looking for a cold shower, then this is actually all you need. But if the water happens to be cold and you're wanting to warm it up, this is the next step. there's a handy little dial right here. It's currently in the off position, but if I turn it to the on position, I'll hear the gas coming through it. Once the gas starts coming through, there's a little switch here, which is a piezoelectric starter. And so if I turn on the gas and then start it, it lights right up. So this little dial actually controls the amount of propane that's being fed into the flame. So the hotter you want your shower, the more propane you give it. So now if I simply press this button again, we should get hot water. Very hot water. I don't know if you can see that, but there's actually a little bit of steam that's coming off of this as well. So if you happen to be doing this in the winter, which we have done a number of times, and the water doesn't come through perfectly hot right from the beginning, then what you can do is actually what I'm doing right now. Have the water pump through and heat up, and then actually put it right back into the reservoir and let it cycle through again. If you do that for several minutes, then it keeps reheating the same water over and over until you get to a temperature you like, and then you're ready for a hot shower. In this case, it's not that cold out. This water's actually about as hot as I would want it for a shower actually right now. And if it ever gets a little bit too hot, all you have to do is turn down that dial and less heat will be pumped into the water. And as soon as you're done, just press that switch again and your shower shuts off. There we go. Obviously we're not going to have a shower right here under our awning on our table, but this actually has an 8-foot hose, so you can easily put this burner on the ground and then simply hang this over a branch or over the bar of the awning, pretty much anywhere where you can hang it to be able to actually have it over your head. And that's really all there is to it. Now, we happen to be in the middle of nowhere at the moment, and so we're not really that concerned with privacy. But if we happen to be in a place where we're concerned that somebody might come by and we want just that extra little bit of privacy, then we also have a camping tarp that we always have with us anyway. And we can easily string that up between a couple of trees and make ourselves a little shower shelter. But what if we're in a more populated area and we're not able to shower outside? Or maybe it's just too cold or dark or for some other reason uncomfortable to be showering outside of the van. Is there any way we can use this inside the van? Well, yes, there is. This entire setup is obviously pretty portable. It's fairly small, so it fits in the van really easily. The burner itself runs on propane, and it does have a flame, which eats up the oxygen in a small space like the van. So it's best if you actually leave that outside, if possible. If not, then some people would probably feel comfortable maybe putting it in the front of the van with all of the windows down. That would probably work as well, but it's not recommended. The problem with using a shower like this inside the van is that the bottom of the van is just the floor. We don't have any drains or anything like that that can be collecting and dealing with all of the wastewater from the shower. So for that, we've actually found this to be an excellent solution. But what the heck is this? Let me open it up and show you. Inside this relatively flat and compact container is a portable dog bath. Just undo a couple of little buckles and it opens up to a little over a foot tall, and as you can see, fairly spacious on the inside. There's some rods on the bottom of it that if you pop them out, you can insert them here and here in 4 different locations around the edges of it, and that just gives it some rigidity. And you'll notice on the one side here we actually have a drain that just unscrews, and then you can see my finger coming through, that drains the inside. So if we put this inside the van, in our hallway, in our kitchen essentially, between the fridge and our washroom, we can easily stand in this, and as long as we're careful, we can shower ourselves with our portable shower, and all of the water gets collected into here. And then when we're done, we simply have to carefully carry this outside and open up this drain, and we can drain it in an appropriate place. We only ever use biodegradable soaps, and so it's completely safe to empty this water onto the ground as long as you're in a wilderness area and a fair distance from any kind of water source, any kind of lake or stream or river. And so that's it. That's our solution for a portable shower when boondocking out in the wilderness, away from any kind of modern conveniences like a gym or a community center or somewhere else where we can get a cheap or free shower. Plus, the dog bath also comes in really handy on super hot days during the summer, because we can fill it up with cold water and sit next to it with our feet in it, and that cools us both down.
Yeah, dinner's almost ready, so if you want to tidy up, do you want to start a fire?
All right, I'm on it.
Awesome.
So, luckily, all of this wraps up and stores back in this case, the same way that it all came out. So I'll put this away, and maybe we'll see in a little bit for a fire.